What is the title of your book?
Cleared for Takeoff is
Okay.
the title of the book.
And how long have you been working on this book?
Oh, I have been working on this book since 2016.
16.
Yes, 2016. Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, yeah.
So how many years is that?
16, what, 10 years?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
10 years worth of knowledge?
10 years worth of, yeah, knowledge and fear, I'm going to say.
Now, yeah, because it's actually when I was reading the back of your book and some of the inserts, things I dealt with, trying to find yourself,
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Those years in birthing that book, those were the years before that, I had really lost myself. So I had come to a place where it was time for me to find myself. I had to overcome a lot of things. So that's what that book was birthed out of. It was birthed out of me finally saying, "Okay, I'm done. Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? I've got too much in me. What am I supposed to be doing?" So that's what that book was birthed out of.
Now, what brings you to that crossroad, though? Wait, it gets so burdensome that you got to put it in a book?
Well, I've always been gifted in writing.
Okay.
So even as a teenager, my voice was writing in my books, writing my journals, writing. So that's how I got and dealt with a lot of healing and things that I was going through, was just writing. So that was always my avenue.
Uh,
Um, so I came to a crossroad in my life to where I was like, I don't know who I am.
mm,
I had no idea who I am. And I had to confront myself. I was miserable. I wasn't happy with myself. When I looked at my house and I realized I only had one mirror, and that was the one in the bathroom, because I didn't want to look at myself. I didn't like who I saw. And I was like, because I don't like who I saw because I didn't know who I was. So it brought me to a place to where I had to confront me.
So when you say confront you,
Yeah.
expand on that.
Confronting me was really like asking myself, uh, looking at myself in a way as to, why are you behind? Why are you so behind the scenes? Why are you so afraid of doing everything? What is going on with you? I had to question myself as to why I'm in this predicament, because the state that I was in was my fault. It was nobody else's fault. The mind state that I was in, the life that I was in was my fault, and it was the decisions that I was making. So I had to confront myself about how I was making decisions and how I was treating myself. I couldn't blame people for treating me a certain type of way when it was me treating me that way. I was teaching people how to treat me.
That sounds like accountability.
Exactly. Exactly. I had to become accountable to myself, not just other people. When I explain it to people, I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, it sounds like you were selfish." I did. I was. I had to become selfish. I had to start thinking about myself in order to become a better me.
Okay. Now, give us a little bit about the book. Someone who's going to read your book, what are they going to get out of reading the book?
Freedom.
Freedom.
I'm going to say they're going to get freedom out of it. Freedom to walk in and know know your purpose that you're walking in. It's like you already know your purpose, but a lot of times we question it, or we don't know how to walk in it. We don't know how to walk in our purpose. You know how when you're going through something and somebody will tell you, and you get to a place where it seems like it's chaotic and everything is going on and you just don't know, and you go to somebody that you trust in and you're like, "I'm just going through this and I'm going through that. I just don't understand. I thought I was supposed to be doing this," and they'll tell you, "Trust the process." Oh my God. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
that is a pet peeve of mine. That is such a pet peeve. When I hear somebody say, trust the
Yeah.
process, they're telling me, I don't know what to tell you. Just trust what you're going through. And I'm looking at them like, so you want me to trust this mess? Is this mess supposed to be a part of my process? Is it supposed to be a part of the journey? But all they can say is trust the process. So with my book, it's kind of telling you the process.
Oh,
So it's telling you the process that you're going to be walking through. Is it the exact steps? No, but here's some of the things in this process. Here's some of the things that you're going to run into. Some of the things that you're going to have to deal with within this process. Here's how to be able to recognize when you may not be in the right place in this process. So yeah, so that's the kind of things that you're going to learn and you're going to take from this book in the end. You're going to learn your journey, your process as you go through walking into your purpose.
and that purpose doesn't go forward without faith, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. You can't not do it without having faith. Faith is one of the key things because you do have to trust in a lot of things. And I used the example of flying because that was me conquering my very first fear. My greatest fear was flying.
Like literally flying.
Yeah,
Okay.
an airplane. Because I had always said all my life I would never get in an airplane because there's no roads up there. There's no strings holding the airplane. There's none of that. So I was like, I would never, ever fly. But when I started dealing with myself, I realized that me not flying is going to hold me back
Okay.
because I may have to go somewhere that ain't going to be easy to drive.
Right.
It ain't going to be easy to take a train. The quickest way I can get there would be to fly. So do I want to continue to hold myself back because of this fear? And then if I conquer the greatest fear, what will it say about all the other fears that I got?
Right.
So I used taking that first flight as an example of walking through the purpose because I did walk through that and it was the same as me walking into my purpose where I had to deal with a lot of different things. I had to say, okay, so when you're getting ready to take a flight, you got to determine where you're going,
Right.
but you also have to determine what you're taking with you. So when you're packing your bag, you have to determine everything can go with you. Even when you're walking into your purpose, everything and everybody can't go with you. It can't. They cannot go with you. And you have to, there's knowing what you can take, trusting what you can take. And even in taking the flight and getting on the airplane, you have to trust and have faith in that pilot that actually is taking you where you're supposed to go. He knows your destination, just like God. God knows your destination. God is the one guiding you. You have to trust him as you're going through and your purpose and your journey getting there, walking through it.
Is that part of the process
Oh, yeah.
that no one ever tells you about?
Right. That is definitely part of the process. Let me tell you, when I sat down on that plane for the first time in that seat and I seen the pilot walk on, now I'm on there before the pilot. I seen the pilot walk on and I was like, that's the man I got to trust with my life. That's who I got to trust. But then he disappears. I don't see him no more. All I hear is his voice. All I hear from the time that he gets up there to where he's seated and he's in position, all I hear is his voice from that point on, directing me and telling me things that's going on, just like God. Gets to a point where you only are hearing his voice. Now, what about the stewardess? The stewardess are like, I'm gonna say they're kind of like the pastors, the ministers and stuff, and they kind of directing you on what's going on as you're on the plane, comforting you, letting you know, getting things that you may need, educating you, helping you along the way. but they're just there to assist. The one that you have the faith in is the one that's
Right.
driving the plane, and that's God.
Now, you also say, you said something about baggage, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do one understand? Because a lot of things are important. We think about baggage. We have a lot of things we feel that are important to us. So and then you get this, like you get the hoarders and things like that, and then you just can't separate from things because for some reason you didn't think about it until you had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to get rid of it. So can you share some insight on what was the book? It was a popular book out where if you don't love it, get rid of it. I forgot what it was.
I know.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? So can you give a little insight on that process?
I actually do deal with that within the book because there's a lot of times that we know that something should not be going with us when we're packing. But when you're going on a plane, you have two different types of baggage, right?
Okay.
You have your carry-on and you have the one that you check in, right? Your carry-on is your essential, the things that you definitely need, and that's limited. When you're getting ready to go fly, what you carry on with you that you have right there with you is limited, right? Your carry-on is like your other extra stuff that you can have, that you can take with you, that'll be there when you get to your location. When you get to your
Right.
destination, that one will be there, but it's following along with you. So when you're dealing with that, a lot of times in my book, one of the things that hit me when I was writing was that your baggage that you check in is your allotment.
What is that? I've never flown.
That's your extra that they're gonna send through them. Like you have certain types of like size products that you can take with you
Okay,
and
yeah.
stuff like that to carry on. But in your check-in, you can pack in larger things
Right.
in the one that you check in, but not in your carry-on. So it's like, okay, I'm allotting you to take this stuff with you, but you got to pack it different and it's got to travel different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times when there's things that we don't want to that shouldn't go with us, it's like an allotment. It'll go. It's gonna travel
Right.
different. It's gonna travel in a different place, but it's gonna go. But here's the thing: you're gonna have consequences when you take the things with you that you're not supposed to. When you get to where you're going, you're gonna have consequences with that. You're gonna have to have things that you're gonna, because now once you get there, you can't just grab your little carry-on and go.
Right.
Now I gotta sit and delay and wait for them to bring that little extra stuff
Right.
that I'm carrying. I gotta sit and wait for them now to bring that to me. I gotta sit and wait and find that. Hope that it didn't get lost in the process. It didn't get lost. They didn't go take it and it went somewhere else. I gotta now sit and wait. I can't continue on to where I'm supposed to my purpose, because I gotta sit and wait on that to catch up with me.
Right.
So we have to sit and really look at, do I absolutely need this? Does this person absolutely need to be with me?
Okay.
Am I holding on to them because of emotion, obligation, or something like that? Because a lot of times we'll hold on to something because it's emotionally attached to us or something like that.
Right.
We have to make a decision. Why do I want this thing to go with me? What purpose does it serve at this moment? And does it actually serve the purpose over here? Do I have to have this? So that's where you start to question yourself and everything that's attached to you. One thing that I realized in going through getting to my purpose is that there was going to be a lot of things that I had to leave behind, things and people. I was going to have to go through a point of grief, because a lot of times when you're attached to something, emotionally.
Right.
When you lose it, you have to grieve it. We only think about grieving when it's related to somebody passing,
Right.
us losing somebody. But that's not the only time that we grieve. We grieve anything that has been a major part of our lives, that has been there for an extensive time, and we have to lose it.
Right.
It can be anything. It can be a blanket. It can be a doll. It can be anything. But when we're separated from that thing and that's gone, we have to go through a grieving process.
Right.
So even in choosing the things that you have to take, leave behind, some of those things are so attached. You have to grieve the loss of it and let that thing go and quit holding on to it.
Right.
Quit carrying around death.
And in terms of relationship, was there a difficult part of this book that dealt with just specifically that, or is it about entire relationships with people?
Well, it kind of overall deals with entire relationships, but there are portions in there where it talks about, because as I was writing this book, I was going through separation from my husband.
Okay.
That was part of something that I was walking away from
Okay.
at that time. So it does deal with that portion of it too, me
Right.
walking away from that, because that was one of the things that I had to really deal with myself about, and why I walked into that marriage and why I stayed in the marriage. And I had to walk in the freedom of walking away from it with no regret.
Now, is this something that you still blame yourself? Earlier, you say you gotta take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the things that you blame yourself for, as far as staying?
I don't anymore. Because when I totally looked at myself and I totally started really being honest with me, I found out why I stayed.
Okay.
And when I dealt with why I stayed, that allowed me the freedom to forgive myself. Because that's what I had to do. In order for it to no longer be regret or anything like that, I had to forgive myself for why I stayed.
Right.
And then be okay with that. Once I forgave myself, I had to be okay. I'm okay with that. Now that I know why, I'm okay with that. It's good. Because I'm growing
Right.
past that now.
Yeah.
And I will never do that again.
Right. And a lot of that is spiritual growth, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely spiritual growth. But here's the thing. Especially when you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship like that, there is growth. But you have to remember that you're growing together. Because sometimes people will grow and they'll be like, okay, I'm growing, I'm getting away from this. Wait a minute, hold up. You don't want to just evaluate why you're
Right.
actually really walking away.
Right.
Making sure that it's supposed to be you walking away from it. That it's not serving a purpose and it's not just a temporary moment. And you're making a big decision in a temporary moment.
Right.
You have to be clear on it. The difference with me was that when I sat back and realized it, I knew the day I was standing at the altar, I was not supposed to say I do.
Oh.
I heard it. I heard it.
Wow.
I heard it in my spirit. Standing at the altar, I heard it. I knew deep down I knew I was not supposed to marry. And I said I do. That was the reason I stayed for 11 years.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I made that choice. Now I have to deal with my choices.
I can imagine there are a lot of people who've had those same scenarios. Mm-hmm. And the hardest part is being embarrassed, saying that I was wrong moment. And then you carry the burden after that, just to end up how you should have chosen in the first place.
Yeah. My freedom was admitting it. This is my freedom, and saying,
yeah,
I knew I shouldn't have done it. That's my freedom. That's my freedom in it. Can nobody hold that over my head? Why? Because I'm telling you, I shouldn't have done it, but I did it.
I believe things happen for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and every reason has a purpose. And in this purpose, you have a book,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And what was the favorite part of the book? Writing this book.
The outline. And why do I say writing the outline was the favorite part? Because the outline was developed in the midst of me actually doing it.
Ah,
I was sitting on the airplane and I pulled out my phone and started writing everything that I was going through, all the steps and everything. And as I was writing those out, the outline developed.